Today we're talking about what a Roth IRA is. It's a question we get a lot, and for some of you, you're thinking, well, I know what a Roth IRA is. I've heard of the Roth IRA, but I just want to be real clear because there's a real simple way to look at this, and I think it's important. And I'll tell you who I think should definitely go into a Roth IRA and who should consider maybe converting over to a Roth IRA. So I want you to picture a farmer. And a farmer is in business, right? A farmer buys seed, plants a crop, sells the crop at market, and hopefully makes a profit on that crop. A farmer in a traditional IRA situation, if we consider what I just mentioned to a traditional IRA, they get a tax deduction when they buy the seed. So if I buy $10,000 worth of seed, I get to deduct that as a business expense. I don't pay tax. I take that off of my taxable income, the $10,000, because I made a business expense. I made an investment. But then when I sell the crop, let's say I sell the crop for $100,000, I've got to pay taxes on the profit. Okay, so I get a tax deduction on a small amount, but I've got to pay taxes on a big amount when I make a profit on that crop. That is what a traditional IRA looks like. Or for most of us, our 401k, we get a tax break when we put the money in, but we have to pay taxes when we get it out. The Roth IRA is exactly the opposite of that. It's completely opposite. What happens in a Roth IRA is when I put the money into a Roth IRA, I do not get a tax deduction. It's a little bit like the farmer again, not getting a tax deduction to plant that seed. But in the case of a Roth IRA, the parallel is when the farmer sells the crop at a profit, he doesn't pay any taxes on the profit. See, he gives up the tax deduction on the front end. We can go into a Roth and give up the tax deduction on the front end, but if that Roth becomes much more valuable in the future, when we take the money out, it's tax-free. So it's a simple way to look at it. You can either have the tax break when you put the money in and pay taxes when you take the money out, hopefully a much larger amount, or you can forego the tax break when you put the money in and take the money out tax-free. Now, some of us, that we hear that and we go, oh, just I wish all my money was in Roth IRAs or Roth 401ks. You can convert. And for many of you, you should convert. I've converted some of my money into a Roth IRA. It's a great estate planning technique, and for some of you, it might be great for your individual retirement savings. I can't tell you exactly whether you should do it or not, but you should absolutely have the conversation with an advisor that's a fiduciary. If you're young, like my kids, you should put every nickel you have into your Roth. Now, if you're young, you're probably not watching this, so you need to communicate this to your kids. But young people should just be putting all their money into a Roth because chances are taxes are going up. Hope this has been helpful to you. If you enjoyed this topic and you want to hear more, just click on the link.